The morning was quiet when Daniel walked across the yard with only a hammer in his hand. He didn't expect anyone to notice. He didn't expect a thank you. He simply wanted to help. But as he lifted the broken wooden plank on his neighbor's fence, a black SUV pulled in, and the woman who stepped out would change his life forever. Daniel Reed was a single father, raising his 8-year-old daughter Lily in a small, peaceful town. Their house was old, the paint fading, the porch creaking, but it was filled with love, warmth, and the laughter of a little girl who adored her dad more than anything. Daniel worked long hours as a mechanic at the local auto shop. The pay wasn't great, but he made sure Lily always had something warm to eat and a roof over their heads. Every evening, after finishing dinner, he and Lily took a small walk around the neighborhood. And every evening they passed by the same house, a large, beautifully maintained property belonging to a woman they rarely saw. Her name was Mrs. Maxwell, a quiet, middle-aged woman who kept to herself. She lived alone, seldom came outside, and most neighbors whispered that she was cold or unfriendly. But Daniel never believed rumors. "Maybe she's just lonely," he once told Lily. The little girl nodded, hugging his arm. Maybe she needs a friend. One morning, after a storm, Daniel noticed something unusual. One section of Mrs. Maxwell's wooden fence had collapsed. The wind had knocked it right over. He touched the damaged wood, looked around, and sighed. He knew repairs like that cost money many people didn't have. "Dad?" Lily tugged his shirt. "Are you going to fix it?" Daniel gave her a gentle smile. "We can try, sweetheart. It's the right thing to do." So he grabbed his old toolbox, the same one he inherited from his father, and walked next door to start working. Daniel spent the next hour repairing the fence board by board. His hands were rough from years of hard labor, but his heart was soft. Helping came naturally to him. He didn't notice the black SUV stop in the driveway. He didn't notice the window roll down. He didn't realize someone was watching him very closely. A moment later, he heard a voice, sharp, confused, and almost offensive. "Excuse me? What exactly are you doing?" Daniel turned around. A gray-haired woman stood by the car door, her eyes narrowed, her purse held tightly in her hand. Her suit looked expensive. Her expression looked tired. This was Mrs. Maxwell. Good morning," Daniel said, wiping his hands. "Your fence fell last night during the storm. I had some spare nails, so I thought I'd fix it." Mrs. Maxwell glanced at the fence, then back at him. "You're fixing it for free?" "Yes, ma'am," Daniel said simply. "It's just a fence." She stepped closer, studying him as if trying to understand his motives. "You don't want anything?" "No, ma'am," he said again, smiling softly. "Just being neighborly." Her eyebrows drew together. People rarely offered her help. People rarely even talked to her. Before she could respond, Lily ran out of the house holding a small juice box. "Daddy, you forgot your drink." Mrs. Maxwell looked at the little girl. Lily smiled warmly and waved. Something softened in the woman's eyes, but only for a moment. "Well," she said briskly, "thank you, I suppose." Daniel nodded and returned to fixing the fence. But as he worked, Mrs. Maxwell watched. With a lingering sadness Daniel couldn't understand. On Friday afternoon, Daniel was called into the manager's office at the auto shop. "Dan," his boss said with a heavy breath, "I'm sorry, but we're cutting hours. Your schedule is being reduced." Daniel's stomach dropped. Reduced hours meant reduced pay, and reduced pay meant he would struggle even more to take care of Lily. He forced a smile, thanked his boss, and walked outside with trembling hands. That evening, he sat on the porch as Lily played with her dolls. "Dad?" she asked softly. "Are we going to be okay?" Daniel swallowed the lump in his throat. "We always will be, sweetheart." But inside, he didn't know how. The next morning, Daniel stepped outside to grab the mail. As he flipped through the envelopes, one caught his eye. It was addressed to him, but with no return name, only a symbol embossed in gold. He tore it open. Inside was a handwritten letter. "Mr. Reed, I saw what you did for me without expecting anything in return. People like you are rare. I would like to offer you an opportunity. Please come by my home tomorrow. E. Maxwell." Daniel raised an eyebrow. Opportunity. He wasn't sure what that meant. But on Sunday morning, with Lily holding his hand, he knocked on Mrs. Maxwell's door. The woman greeted them with an unexpected warmth. "Come in," she said gently. "Please." Her home was beautiful, far bigger than any house Daniel had ever stepped into. She led them to the living room where tea was set out. "I want to tell you something," she said, folding her hands. "For years, this town has treated me like a stranger. They think I'm cold or unkind because I don't socialize." She paused, her eyes growing distant. "The truth is, I've been alone for a long time." Daniel listened quietly. "My husband passed 10 years ago," she continued. "He built most of the businesses in this town. Restaurants, stores, even the medical center. When he died, he left everything to me." Daniel's eyes widened. "So yes," she said with a faint smile. "I do own half the town." Lily gasped softly. "But none of it mattered," Mrs. Maxwell continued. "Not after losing him. I stopped trusting people. Everyone who approached me wanted something." She looked at Daniel. "But you didn't." Daniel shifted, awkwardly. "I just fixed a fence." "You did more than that," she said gently. "You reminded me that kindness still exists." Then she handed him another letter, this one sealed. "I want to help you the way you helped me." Daniel hesitated. "Ma'am, I appreciate your kindness, but I can't accept charity." "This isn't charity," she said. "It's an opportunity, just like my letter said." She nudged the envelope toward him. "Open it." Daniel slowly unsealed the letter. His eyes widened. Inside was an offer letter, a full-time maintenance position at one of her properties, with double his current pay, and included beneath it a paid childcare scholarship for Lily at the town's best after-school program. Daniel's hands began to shake. This is too much." Mrs. Maxwell's eyes softened. "It's not too much, Mr. Reed. It's exactly what you deserve." Lily ran to Daniel and hugged his arm. "Daddy, you got a new job." Daniel's eyes filled with tears he tried to hide. "But why me?" Mrs. Maxwell took a deep breath. "Because when you fixed my fence, you didn't just repair wood, you repaired something in me. Something I thought was gone forever." Daniel accepted the job, promising to repay her trust with hard work and integrity. In the weeks that followed, something unexpected happened. Every morning, Mrs. Maxwell came outside to greet them. Lily began bringing her drawings. She hung every single one on her fridge. The woman who once lived alone found a family she never expected. And Daniel, who once felt life tightening around him, now walked with renewed strength, hope, and gratitude. One evening after work, he repaired the rest of her fence even though it no longer needed fixing. When Mrs. Maxwell noticed, she smiled. "You know," she said softly, "you've done more than enough." Daniel wiped his brow. "Sometimes," he replied, "the best way to thank someone is to keep giving." She nodded, tears forming in her eyes. "You and Lily have given me something priceless," she whispered. "A reason to step outside again, a reason to care again." Lily ran up and hugged the woman's waist. "We're neighbors," she said. "We're supposed to take care of each other." Mrs. Maxwell placed a gentle hand on the child's head. Yes, sweetheart, we are. And for the first time in years, she felt peace. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness becomes the moment that changes someone's world. Subscribe and share this story if it touched your heart.